Founded in 1975, Canine Companions for Independence is a nonprofit organization that provides highly trained assistance dogs to children and adults with disabilities. Our On the Move crew recently attended a DogFest Walk N Roll event in Cupertino, which was put on by Canine Companions for Independence. This was a family-friendly, completely accessible dog walk where we saw trained dogs with their owners in wheelchairs and younger dogs handled by their puppy raisers. We met several of the dedicated people who train and socialize dogs during the first year before they become part of an assistance-type program. Today, our On the Move host talks with Nancy Hinkston with her dog Lilybell. Now here is Nancy with our host Donna Yeager.
Hi, I'm Donna Yeager with On the Move, and I'd like to welcome our special guest, Nancy Hinkston. Welcome, hello. Nancy. Hello. Well, thanks for joining us today, and I got to talk with you a couple times now, and I really had a wonderful visit with you when we went to the Walk N Roll activity over in Cupertino. That was fun.
Yeah, DogFest is one of the biggest fundraisers for Canine Companions for Independence.
Yeah, that's great.
And a lot of fun, and a lot of good people, and lots of dogs.
Yeah.
Lots of dogs.
Wow, it was wonderful. And so you have that every year?
Yes, last year was we had the kickoff for the for across the country. And so we were the very first ones to put it on, so it's something that's going to be annual. And last year it was at Vasona Park in Los Gatos, and this year it was at the Memorial Park in Cupertino. And we find that this park was much better because, especially for manual chairs, it was all paved, much easier than last year. So it was much better for manual chairs.
Well, plus Vasona Park kind of has a little bit of a muddy dirt section.
And it rained last year.
Oh, yeah, you don't want muddy tires. That's kind of messy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful park in Cupertino. It's really very nice.
Yes.
I mean, Vasona Park is fun also. It really is because it's pretty big. You know? And it just depends on how big of a walk you want to have.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's about a mile is the walk, so it's not that long.
Right.
But if you want to go around it a couple times, that's fine too.
That's true. That's true. You said that people could go around as many times as they want.
Yep.
That's marvelous. Well, it takes a lot of organizing. What was your official title there?
I was the volunteer coordinator.
Wow.
So I tried to hunt down people.
Yeah.
But once I found out what it was for, you know, you have no problem. They all want to help. In fact, I've got a list of people that want to do it next year. And we get youth groups and college kids, high school kids. We had Girl Scouts.
Oh, my goodness.
And so they come from all walks.
Yeah. All walks.
Yeah.
Walk and roll.
Yep.
All walks of life. That's great. I'm sure it takes a lot of organizing, too, because that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's several months beforehand, you know, that we start. So last year we had just a few months. This year we had a lot more.
Yeah.
So, and each year it's growing. We're getting more vendors and that are participating.
Well, our friends Ann and Sue were the ones that actually told us about it from a previous show. So
Yes, Ann Weiss and Sue Gussman and Michelle Kelsey. They're all my heroes. My heroes of Canine Companions for Independence are the puppy raisers.
Right.
To have the dogs for a year and a half, socialize them, go through the puppy stage, and basic train them, and then to give them up so that we as a disabled person can have them.
Right, right.
It takes very special people to do that.
It's very hard to say goodbye to them for them.
But
so,
I know I keep in touch with my Lily's puppy raisers. Yeah, because she was co-raised up in Seattle.
Oh, wow.
And so I Facebook them all the time so they get to see Lily's picture. And then she, she shares her new puppy that she's got.
Oh my
she's raising. So she's on her third dog. Lily was her first.
Wow. That's exciting. Oh my God.
So it's a wonderful organization, and I love promoting it, because what it does for people, and especially for the kids, disabled kids. You know, yes, we as, you know, an adults, it's nice to have, you know, a service dog, but when you see what these dogs do for the kids with disabilities, they break that gap. You know, because as you know, being disabled, growing up, you know, you had kids, oh, I don't want to go over and talk to them. You know, they come from outer space sometimes, but then they see the dog and they come up, can I pet your dog? And of course, you know, you say yes, and then all of a sudden, well, I've got a dog too. In the conversation, and they find out that the child is no different from them. They just have a limitation. And so that's one of the ways that these dogs are excellent for kids with disabilities.
Well, and then once we go really back to the volunteers, though, like Sue and Anne, and I mean, it does take a lot of work and many hours to raise the puppies and to, you know, really acclimate them to so many different situations. And once again, I mean, you know, Canine Companions for Independence, they really rely on so many volunteers to help out, and we wouldn't have a show without our wonderful volunteers. There's so many.
Thank God for volunteers.
Exactly.
Well, we're very fortunate in this area that we have puppy class every week for the puppy raisers, and it's a fun time. Lily might not be a puppy in training, but we still go there, and I've have a lot of new friends there, and so they have outings. One time we went to a fire station.
And
at the fire station, all the puppies went up to the fireman, and he had the mask on, and all his, you know, the fireman uniform on, but it was to get the puppies used to something different. And then,
well, actually, when you were at the fire station, though, I mean, you had the dogs actually visit with the firemen individually, and so that the dogs weren't afraid of the firemen, because you know, they've got those big huge outfits on, and with the big fire engine, the fireman's hat, those are, it's really heavy equipment that they or what do you call it, like a suit that they wear. It's very heavy, and it's probably intimidating for a dog to see all of that equipment and not to really see their face very clearly because they're protecting themselves. And then the actual fire engine is huge, you know, and so that's another thing that you got to get the dog used to in case there's a situation where the dog needs to, you know, feel comfortable around it, so it's not frightened, and so it doesn't run away, and you know, so it's very important that the service dogs learn to be comfortable and feel comfortable, and the loud noises, you know.
Well, they put all the puppies around the fire engine. They turn the siren on, and then they beat the horn, and then all the dogs just sat there. Are we supposed to do something?
Really?
They pass with flying color, but they have to be graduate dogs. They have to, you know, be able to, you know, undergo all this stuff.
Exactly. But it's so important that they actually learn all of these different situations and different scenarios. There's so many, you know, that it's really important that they learn when they're just very young puppies. You know, all the different possibilities. And it's wonderful that the puppy raisers are used to that, and, you know, taking them to as many places where they can experience it, you know, firsthand.
Well, during the summer we also take them to shopping centers. And so they get used to going into the store, because these dogs can go any place that we go. So taking them into the stores, into crowds. And that, so.
Well, speaking of that, actually at the Walk N Roll, there were lots of people there. I was amazed at how many people that didn't have service dogs. I mean, maybe some of them were puppy raisers, but it seemed like there were a lot of people, and I actually ran into about 9 friends of mine, and they just brought their dog, their pet.
Well, it's open. It's
fine.
open to everybody.
Yeah, good.
Everybody.
Good.
It doesn't have to be, a service dog.
Right, exactly.
It's open up to everybody,
but it was good to educate the community, that these are service dogs, and they're some of them were puppies in training, but also it's important to educate the public that if you see a service dog, you really should ask the disabled person, is it okay if I pet your dog? And if the disabled person says, no, please don't, then hopefully they will respect that and realize that the dog is working. And you really need that safety, to have the dog to be in your corner to protect you and to, not as a guard dog, but I mean to protect you and help you if you need assistance. If you drop something, that dog needs to be right on cue and right there to pick something up for you. And and if somebody just walking by starts petting the dog furiously, and then that's not good for the dog.
Well, I have found that the kids are teaching their parents now.
Good.
Because mother or the father might come up and start to pet the dog, and the child will go, Mom, you have to ask permission to pet the dog.
Yeah.
So the education is getting out there.
Right. And I also noticed that all of the booths that were there at the Walk N Roll, there were a lot of people, like, once again, people in the community that were learning about all the different organizations that, used service dogs and, Canine Companion dogs. Not only dogs that help the disabled in wheelchairs, but there are dogs that can sniff out different disabilities, different new diseases, like, tell us some of them.
Well, some of the of our dogs that don't graduate, they're finding, because they're so sensitive, that they're making good early alert dogs for people with diabetes.
We train dogs to alert their diabetic partners as their blood sugar goes out of range. So we get dogs that are released from the CCI program, and then we train them for their alert work on the scent, and then pair them up with a diabetic so they get to continue their life as an assistance dog, just in a different role. He actually alerts the diabetic unless it's a young child. In the case of a young child, it goes to a parent. In the case of somebody 12 and older, they alert the actual diabetic that they're having an issue. They do so with a pawing action to let the person know, and that indicates to the person that they need to stop and test and figure out what the issue with the blood sugar is, and then take corrective measures. They can smell the change that goes on in the body during a blood sugar episode, and to them it's a combination of chemicals. And when that combination shows up, they know that they need to show a paw alert and let the person know that there's something happening. Their noses are phenomenal. They can smell things that we won't ever be able to smell, and to them it's a primary sense, so we're just putting a value on something that they already smell. My name is Carol Edwards, and I'm with Early Alert Canines here at the 2014 DogFest.
Or people that go into seizure. And in fact, Lily, when she was her one puppy raiser, is a nurse. So she worked the night shift. So she would put Lily on one of the beds while she worked at the station. And she says one night she's working, and Lily gets off the bed and comes down the hall towards her. And she goes, Lily, what are you doing? And she said she kind of gave out a little growl. She turned around, and she took her to a woman that was having a massive heart attack.
Oh, my God.
And she was only 10, 11 months old. So they're very, they're in tune to, so much more, I think, than the regular, pet dogs.
Exactly.
And this is what they've, they've been breeding, their own lines. So they know what they want to breed into them.
Exactly.
And so,
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, also, speaking of medical equipment, they also, I love the Walk N Roll. It was so much fun. I keep going back to that.
I know, it is. It's tons of fun.
But they actually had a couple of booths that had like medical assistance. If somebody hurt themselves, or if there was if they had a cut, they could go to the first aid station and get a Band-Aid, or have some assistance.
Actually, one of the puppy raiser, it was his booth because he's into first aid and he's a nurse and that.
Wow.
So yeah, and he does he teaches CPR and different things for your dogs.
Oh my
so
gosh.
He does actually classes, you know, that you can learn how to, you know, if your dog has an injury or, you know, even giving CPR.
Wow.
Don't ask me how that's done.
Yeah.
No.
That's not easy. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then actually, close to his booth was a huge dog that was, I think it was blown up with helium.
Yes, that's Independence. That's what they've given this dog name, and it belongs to Canine Companions.
Wow.
And then for special occasions like DogFest,
Yeah.
so he gets to travel.
He's huge.
Yes.
How tall is he? He's
I don't know, but it's big.
like 2 stories, I
Yeah.
would guess.
Yeah,
He's a big
really
dog.
big, really big. And a lot of people like to have their picture taken with him.
I couldn't believe how many.
But you put one of our dogs there, and it's like little tiny thing next to him because he's so large.
The puppy, the real puppies dwarf underneath.
Yes, yes.
They're like the size of the blow-up dog's toenail.
Yeah.
But it was fun to see a lot of the neighborhood children, you know, posing in front of this big, huge dog. He's not red. He's a golden. Or he's a yellow.
Well, it's more
lamb.
yellow. Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. He doesn't have the long fur like a golden.
No, exactly. That's right. And speaking of all other dogs too, Snoopy is so adorable. And you showed me awesome pictures of Charles Schultz and Snoopy in Nap.
Thanks to
Santa
Charles
Rosa,
Schultz
right.
Foundation,
Yeah.
is one of the biggest supporters up there in Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
And so the campus is called the Charles Schultz Campus.
Oh.
And he donated the land and money for the buildings. Wow. And then Jean, his widow, continues to give to us.
Oh, wow.
So it's thanks to people like Charles Schultz and Ann Gettinger from Nordstrom.
Yeah.
She also donated land for the property. And right before I went up from my class, she donated another $2.5 million to upgrade all the dorms. So we had brand new mattresses, new TVs.
Wow.
So it was really good. Yeah.
Well, so let me ask then, the picture that you showed me, is that Snoopy statue, is that in downtown Santa Rosa? Or
No,
is that at
no,
the
that's
campus?
there on the campus.
Oh, cool.
And then one of our class session, when we go up there for our 2-week training, we get to go to his museum, which is really, really interesting. You know, especially if you've grown up with Peanuts and
I know.
Snoopy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Charlie Brown. And
Charlie Brown.
All the Peanuts characters.
Yeah. So every time you buy a Snoopy card or a Peanuts card, part of that goes to Canine Companions.
Wow, that's wonderful. How fun. I'll remember that. That's fantastic.
Well, that's what usually cards, just because I love the cards anyway.
Yeah,
you know, even before I knew, you know, about, you know, how.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's great. And I love the pictures that you showed me about the Halloween party. Those were fun.
That was last week. We had, the puppy class had a Halloween had contest too.
Yeah.
And we had a little puppy, and his name was Cowboy. Well, they dressed him up like a cowboy. And so some of the costumes are so creative. And it's a fun class to go to.
Cool. Yeah.
And I know that this year Lily was a pumpkin, and last year she was a little bumblebee, and she carried a little honey pod, you know. So I've got a picture of her going to the front door with it going trick-or-treating. And then on Halloween, she likes to, especially for the neighborhood kids, I have her get a package of candy, and I have her give it to the kids. And the kids really think that's really neat.
That's
that
very
she can do that.
special.
Yeah.
Not every house does that.
No.
Wow, that's cool. Can I come? I'm just a big kid at heart.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and also it was really neat how there were a lot of the adults that dressed up in costumes.
Yes. Some of them get really into it. Yes.
That's wonderful. I saw a nun. What is, and the one, what was that, like an elf, or what was the one puppy dog with the, or was it a Sherwood Forest kind of?
Well, last year, one of the costumes, she had a golden, which now has gone into the breeding program.
Oh, wow.
So she just had her first litter.
Oh.
And Kat made her out to be a pirate with a treasure chest, and then she had a stuffed dog on the back of her. So it was like, here you have the two dogs carry this treasure chest. Very, very unique. So, yeah. Some of the uniform costumes are really, really cute.
They were very creative.
Yes, very creative.
And then I had never heard of this either, but you guys had a pool party
Yes.
with the dogs.
Well, we have to separate the graduates from the puppies. So the puppies have their own pool party, and in those, then the female breeder dogs get to go to that one. And then for the graduate party, the male breeders get to go to that, because you don't want to impregnate, the other dogs. So they're very,
Wow.
So that's the reason why the males get to go with the graduates, because all of our dogs are fixed.
Right.
If they are not put into the breeding program, they are responsible, and they put them in. They get they get spam or neuter.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrific. And describe to us the photograph that you showed me, where they're all of the yellow labs were like in a circle.
Okay, during puppy class, because they're learning basic commands, one of the commands is down and stay.
Oh, boy.
So, and then we walk away from them. So you have all these dogs laying around, and they're told to stay, and then we walk away from them and walk around, and we have conversations amongst ourselves, and the dogs have to stay there.
Wow.
And it's just something that they have to learn.
Yeah.
And then one day they decide, well, we're going to put food down. So they spelled out CCI in the kibbles, and the dogs had to ignore it.
Oh my gosh.
So that was one of their trainings. So
that was torture.
So all the training that they get, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
And Erin, our instructor, she likes to use Lily and myself reasons why they're teaching these certain commands. Like one of the commands was up on different objects. And I mean, they had all kinds of, footstools, everything. And in fact, a ball even that they had to, put their little front paws up on.
Wow.
And then I showed the class what Lily does, in that one of the commands is step. And that's a step on my foot plate,
right.
so that she can give me, something that she might be picking up or something like that.
Wow.
So that was one of the things that, the reason why, behind that command.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's great.
But the dogs know about, by the time we get them,
Yeah.
they know about 40 commands.
Wow.
And they love learning new commands. So you take the existing commands, you put them together, do another command.
Ooh. How exciting. Oh my gosh. So, and then the same for when all the black labs are,
Oh
put in there.
yeah. There seems to be more yellow labs, and there's not that many full breed Goldens.
Oh, yeah.
And then the black labs just don't seem to pop out like yellow do. But there are a lot of them. And in fact, my graduating class, they were all yellow labs.
Really?
And there were 7 of us adults that went for the service dogs. And then we had 8 children with disabilities.
Wow.
And they kind of, because our class, there were 17, they divided us. So the service dogs, the adults and the service dogs were in one room. And then the skilled companions, which go for the children, because they have to have an adult to be a handler.
Oh, okay.
And then there were 2 facility dogs in that.
Oh my gosh.
And the facility dogs go for a professional person that works with in different situations, like a special ed teacher, a therapist, and Ours was, she was a detective,
Oh my gosh.
pardon me, a sheriff up in Seattle. And she works at a juvenile courthouse.
Oh, okay.
And her dog was to calm the kids down.
Oh.
And it was actually going to be getting a badge.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So,
well, could you tell us the phone number in case people want to contact the Canine Companions?
Yes, it's 707 577 1700.
Okay.
Or they can go to the website, which is really probably better if they go to the website, which is www.cci.org.
Wow, cool.
And
you know, there's also a Christmas party that you showed me. Wonderful.
Oh yes,
picture.
that's our up and coming, our next big event.
Yeah.
And Los Gatos, they have Christmas or holiday, you know, parade, and we get to dress our dogs up. Lily goes as Mrs. Claus, and we march in the parade. And every year it's getting bigger and bigger.
And it's in Los Gatos.
Cub Scout troop that was also there, and they never knew about, you know, Canine Companions.
Oh yeah.
So they called, and I did a presentation.
Oh, cool.
For the boys. So that was a lot of fun.
Well, it's really important to educate people. So.
Oh, definitely, definitely. In fact, there were 5 dens that met that night, you know, and the troop leaders came. We've never seen the boys so quiet.
Yeah.
When I was talking about the, you know.
Oh, good. So they listened intently.
They really did.
That's good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, then you know that you were getting through it. Yes. If they listen, that's good.
Well, Lily likes to do a lot of presentations, and she's really good with the kids. She loves kids.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, tell us one more time, Nancy, what the phone number is.
The phone number is 707-577-1700, and the website is www.cci.org.
Okay. But CCI stands for?
Canine Companions for Independence.
All right.
Yes.
That's great. And if people want to volunteer, if they want to see how they can help out, then they can
definitely contact them, and they will, you know, get back to you. Great. Or we're the South Bay chapter here. Okay. Or, you know, get in touch with me. And
well, thank you. I want to thank you so very much, Nancy. Really.
And thank you for having us.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you so very much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Donna Yeager with On the Move. Have a wonderful day. And Lily did a beautiful job. Thank you, Lily.
She's in her natural position, laying down.
It took everything just to not jump up and visit with us.
Oh, I know.
It was very good girl, Lily. Lily. Hey, Lily. Lily. Hey, want to say hello? Hi. She's a good girl. Yes, you were.
I have to turn this on.
Oh, it's okay. You can stay there because we're still got the microphones going.
Okay.
Whoa. We got to go towards there. Okay.
There you go.
Good girl. Hi, sweetie. Hello. She's very friendly. She's a friendly.
Oh, yes.
She's a friendly girl.
Yes.
Yes, you did a great job. Yay! She smells my puppies.
Oh, yeah. She definitely smells dogs.
Why don't you ask her to do a command?
Okay, Lily.
I'm here at DogFest today with Romeo. He's an 11-year-old Boston Terrier who's in a wheelchair made for pets. He has Cushing's disease, which affects his muscles and ligaments in his back, and he's lost his ability to use his back legs. So we got him his special wheelchair that he's been using for the last 2 months.